when I came to Baylor, every door was open to me. It surprised me that the doors were open, and I was able to encounter great professors with great ideas. My undergraduate education, I thought, was superb. I became a history major. I didn't know what I wanted to major in. And they nurtured me and prepared me for graduate school, and of course I'll be eternally grateful that they asked me to come back here. But I enjoyed the way things operated at Baylor. The fellowship with students was very close. I lived in a home on 1000 South 5th. It's right where I-35 runs through now, so it's gone. But I lived with a whole bunch of people from First Baptist Church. Matter of fact, everybody was from First Baptist Church initially. That changed as nearly all of them were veterans of World War II. My brother was my roommate for 1 quarter before he graduated. And then there was my sister, who chose every professor I had initially. She made certain that the kind of person I wanted to meet, should meet, would be the one I studied under. And they were just wonderful to me. I don't say all the teachers were great, not by no means. I was keenly disappointed in my sociology professor. I didn't like the second professor I had in English, who had no sense of humor whatsoever. I remember one day we were reading one of Jack London's short stories, and she said that he had described nature, and we ought to be able to appreciate nature, to go out and see the trees and the sunshine and the rivers and breathe the air, and so I said, with a sense of humor, I thought that if teachers would give us more time off, we'd have more time to go out and enjoy all these things. She lit on me. She started, and I may be exaggerating, I'm willing to admit that, but for 5 minutes, she just couldn't say enough bad things. And ended by saying, if it's too rough for you in here, Mr. Vardaman, you may leave. And I said, I just got out of the Marine Corps. I spent 4 years there, 2 of them in the Pacific. I think I can take 1 quarter of 1 hour a day from you. And she was, well, to put it mildly, I was not in her good graces after.
What kind of student were you at Baylor?
Very good one.
Well, and was it purely the difference? Was it the quality of the teaching, or was it something
partly,
else?
But I realized when I was in the Marine Corps that I didn't want what I had done or what I was doing. I thought there's got to be a way out of this, and education was it. So I studied. I could not study with my brother,
Right.
who was an ex-Marine too, and my sister. It just wouldn't have done. So I learned how to study for the first time, really, and I decided that it was a pleasure to know things that I'd never known, and I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed the music, the symphonies, art. I mean, the whole thing that you're supposed to get in a universitas, that's what university means, a universal, all things pulled together. As a student, I'm not sure. I lived so close to the campus. I ate often on the campus, ate breakfast every day on the campus. So the Union Building was frankly one of the few buildings that had air conditioning. And this Texas arson that comes every summer, it was just a delight to go over and be able to study there, to listen to music. They had a lot of records in the Fentress room, and we could meet people that became close friends. Mostly went to First Baptist Church at the time. My closest friend, Cliff Williams, who was vice president at Baylor under 3 presidents, chairman of the psychology department, dean of the college, graduate school. We became so close. He died fairly recently. But there were a lot of just wonderful friendships developed in those Union Building sessions. That would have to have been my favorite, I guess.
What's your fondest memory of your time as a student at Baylor?
A student? It was just the learning and the fellowship and the professors. 3 things. Those 3. Learning, fellow students, professors. It'd be hard to separate the 3. I'd have to put them together.
Did you pursue any extracurricular activities, or was it purely studying?
Not much. One summer, a student asked me if I would be pastor of the 6th Street Mission in the summer because he would be gone on a mission trip somewhere. And so no, I wasn't ordained. I wasn't going to become a minister, but I thought, well, okay, I'll try that. That was a real experience, I can tell you. And then I taught, Cliff Williams and I taught at Evangelia Home Sunday School for about a year, I guess. Then I was a member of Pi Gamma Mu, which is a social science fraternity. I didn't have time to do too many things.
Tell me a little bit about the religious atmosphere on campus when you went here. Chapel, the Baylor Religious Hour, the Baylor sphere.
Huh. Well, it was pretty intense, and I liked that. It was a complete 180-degree opposite of what I had been in for 4 years. But you went to Friday night Singspiration after you'd finished whatever you'd done, like 6th Street Mission, and you'd sing, and you had some very good musicians who were deeply dedicated to their profession and their Christianity too. The Frank Boggs, whom I'd gone to high school with, Dick Baker, Bull Baker. My roommate, I had a wonderful roommate in my last year, Bill Toller, who later became a professor at Southwestern Seminary. There were ministerial students everywhere. We'd have prayer meetings and exchange opinions, a lot of arguing. Boy, I'm telling in my house that I lived in, we did some tremendous disagreeing, and sometimes we didn't speak to each other. It got intense. I could tell you some of the theological questions, but I won't. I'd bore you to tears. But anyway, it was a wonderful, warm feeling. I felt like I belonged at Baylor. This is where I should be. And that's why I wanted to come back someday and teach. And as far as I know, I was the only person in the class of 1951 who ever came back here and taught. I may be wrong, but I don't ever remember anybody else.